Revealed. I secretly bought a home, only to discover my daughter-in-law's shocking family scheme. Tom sat in his old recliner, staring out the window at the quiet suburban street. Birds chirped, kids laughed, and for a moment, everything felt right in the world. But his heart raced with anticipation. He had a plan to create something beautiful for his son Jake and daughter-in-law Lily. He had just purchased a dilapidated house, a fixer-upper nestled at the end of a cul-de-sac, convinced it would mend the strained ties in their family. For him, this house wasn't just a collection of bricks. It was hope wrapped in dreams, ready to be transformed into a haven of love and memories. The moment Jake and Lily arrived, Tom's chest tightened with joy. He revealed the house, his voice choked with excitement. "I got a place for us, all of us." But the initial smiles quickly faded. Confusion painted their faces. Tom's heart sank as he noticed the flicker of concern in Lily's eyes. It was as if his heart echoed her unspoken fears. "Dad, we appreciate it," but Jake hesitated, and Tom felt the weight of something unnameable. At first, it was just tension, an unspoken undercurrent swirling in the air. Tom brushed it off, hopeful. Surely, they would appreciate his sacrifice, a chance for all of them to start fresh. Weeks rolled on, but whispers lingered in the corners of conversations. Tom's heart ached as he caught bits of hushed discussion, the tension tightening like a noose. Lily's family had fallen on hard times, and suspicion crept into Tom's mind. Did they see him as a way out? This house, meant to unite them, was now a battleground of unspoken motives. The tension reached a peak during a family dinner, the kind that should have been filled with laughter and warmth. The air frayed as old grievances resurfaced. "You think you can buy our love with a house?" Lily's brother's voice cut through the thick silence like glass shattering. Tom recoiled, a tight knot forming in his stomach as accusations piled up, revealing the raw wounds of economic struggle and betrayal. "Everything I fought for, everything I sacrificed was for family. Is that worth nothing?" Tom's voice trembled, a storm of indignation brewing within him. He remembered the sacrifices he had made during his years of service, fighting for a country where family mattered. Had it all been in vain? Just when he thought they might find common ground, Lily's father snapped, "You don't understand our situation. You're just a man with a house, thinking you can fix everything." The words stung like betrayal. In that moment, the bitterness of resentment felt insurmountable. Tom felt lost. He wanted to protect Lily, to defend her against her family's harshness, but he also craved loyalty and respect. He retreated into silence, the chaotic dinner spinning in his mind. Just when he thought clarity was near, an unexpected event promised to stir the pot, even more, a call from Lily's family that whispered of plans. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Tom's heart raced as he pieced together their scheme, grasping the gravity of betrayal. It wasn't just about the house. It was about love, dignity, and the ties that held them all together. He was at a crossroads, wondering if he could confront Lily's family without shattering everything. As the evening settled, he clutched evidence of their deception, feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders. Would he find the courage to defend what truly mattered? The question lingered in the air, heavy with uncertainty, as the future hovered just out of reach. The morning sun poured through the kitchen window, casting warm beams across the breakfast table where Tom sat, staring at the scattered remnants of a family meal gone wrong. Jake was late, having left early for a meeting, and Lily sat across from him, her eyes clouded with worry. Silence hung heavily, punctuated only by the rhythmic ticking of the wall clock. Tom felt like a storm was brewing in the calm of the morning light. Dad," Lily's voice trembled, breaking the quiet. "About last night I want to talk." Her words hung in the air as if they were fragile, ready to shatter at the slightest push. Tom nodded, urging her to continue, though his heart thudded in his chest with anxious anticipation. "It's just that my family has been through so much," she said, the weight of her family's struggles pressing on her shoulders. They didn't mean to come off as harsh, but they are scared, you know? Tom's eyes narrowed. While he wanted to sympathize, there was a bitterness nagging at him. And what about my fears, Lily? I've poured everything into this house, thinking it would help us. Now I feel like I'm the outsider in my own family. Her expression softened, and Tom noticed a glimmer of regret in her eyes. I never meant for it to be like this. I thought they would be happy for us. A heavy pause filled the space between them, and Tom wondered if he had done the right thing. The house had been a leap of faith, a bridge toward healing. But now it felt more like a chasm that threatened to swallow them whole. Maybe if we all talked, Tom suggested tentatively, if we invited your family over and cleared the air, we could find some common ground? Lily's eyebrows knitted together. Do you really think they'll listen? They are stuck in their ways, Dad. They see you as a source of money, not family. Tom felt anger bubble within him. It wasn't fair. He had poured his heart into this project, believing it could make a difference. But I'm not just a dollar sign. I'm here because I care about you, about us. Tears brimmed in Lily's eyes as she glanced down at the table, realizing the depth of the divide that had formed between their worlds. It's just so complicated. They are family, but they also bring chaos. I don't want to lose what little we have left. Complicated? Tom couldn't mask the edge in his voice. You think I haven't faced complications? I've seen worse, and it's why I wanted to build something solid for us. He stood abruptly, frustration spilling over, and when he turned to look out the window, he spotted a familiar figure approaching, a woman from Lily's family. Pain surged through him. What was she doing here? Lily. Tom's voice came out firm yet shaky. I think your family is here again. Lily's eyes widened as her worst fears unfolded. No, not now. I can't handle this. She stood too, panic etched on her features. Tom planted himself at the doorway, ready to confront whatever awaited him on the other side. His heart raced, a mixture of anger and anticipation flooding his veins. Are you ready to face them together? He asked, though the words felt tentative even as they left his mouth. Suddenly the door swung open, revealing not just her family but a determined entourage ready to shake the foundations once more. Tom braced himself. He couldn't back down now. But as they entered, he realized that this wasn't just about him anymore. What came next could shatter their fragile unity or forge an unbreakable bond. Would their confrontation lead to resolution? Or would it deepen the rift even further? In that moment, in the depths of uncertainty, Tom felt the weight of the future pressing down as he prepared for what lay ahead. What truths would emerge? Would he finally uncover the heart of their scheme or lose everything he fought so hard for? Tom held his breath as the door swung wide, revealing not just one familial face but a cluster of them, serious, judgmental, and relentless. He recognized the woman at the front, Lily's Aunt Clara, whose sharp eyes could cut through tension like a knife. Behind her, Lily's cousins lingered, their expressions a mix of curiosity and hostility. Lily, Clara said, her tone dripping with formality. We need to talk. The air in the kitchen turned thick and electric. Tom sensed every nerve ending in his body fire up, adrenaline coursing through him. This wasn't going to be a simple chat. He could feel it. Lily stepped back, glancing at Tom, caught between the two sides that had become her world. Can't we now? It's not the time for hesitation. Clara interrupted, her voice rising slightly. Your life is at stake here. Tom's chest tightened at those words. He wanted to argue, to throw back their judgments and stand tall as a father who cared fiercely about his daughter, but he knew he had to keep calm. What is this really about? He asked, his voice steady despite the storm brewing inside him. Clara stepped further into the kitchen, leading the charge. We're here because we care and we think you're leading her astray with this. She waved her hands dismissively, as if the house itself was a pile of ashes. This project. Tom clenched his jaw, feeling heat wash over him. I thought it would be a place for healing. A sanctuary for us. A sanctuary or a prison? Clara fired back, narrowing her eyes at him. You've put all your effort into this house, but what about Lily's needs? You can't just isolate her from us. Tom's heart sank. He glanced at Lily, whose face was torn between loyalty and uncertainty. The weight of her family's expectations bore down heavily not only on her but also on him. I'm not trying to cut anyone off. I'm trying to build something real. something we can all share. By denying her the support she needs? Clara shot back. Your sanctuary could just be your way of keeping her all to yourself, and we won't allow it. Lily's tear-filled eyes flickered back and forth, desperation taking hold. Aunt Clara, please. It's not like that. I need both of you. Silence loomed for a moment, an awkward pause filled with an overwhelming sense of impending conflict. Tom stood tall, fear and determination colliding inside him. This wasn't just a family debate. It felt like a battlefield, and he was ready to defend all he held dear. Let us all sit down, Tom proposed, trying to soften the tension but knowing the fight was inevitable. We can discuss this without insults. Clara scoffed but nodded curtly. Lily quickly moved into action, guiding her family toward the living room. Tom followed, his heart pounding louder with each step. As they gathered near the couch, Tom felt the palpable divide between them, two worlds colliding, each with its own truth to bear. He glanced at Lily, who was desperately trying to find a path through the waves of tension. He took a deep breath, ready to face the music. This wasn't just about the house or the chaotic blending of their families. It was about love, trust, and how fragile connections could be if one weren't careful. Before this spirals into chaos, let us remember what we're really fighting for, Tom said. We all want what's best for Lily. But as the words left his mouth, he couldn't help but wonder. Did they truly want that? Or was there a deeper motive behind the arrival of her family? The room vibrated with questions, each one more unsettling than the last. Just then the doorbell rang again, causing everyone to pause. Tom exchanged worried glances with Lily. It was a sound that could bring more chaos or perhaps unexpected clarity. Who else was coming to their tense meeting? He felt a wave of dread wash over him as he took a tentative step toward the door, heart racing. Would he find support or another storm waiting outside? Tom hesitated, hand hovering over the doorknob. His heart raced, each beat echoing louder than the last. What if it was someone who would tip the balance of this already tumultuous moment? Taking a deep breath, he slowly turned the knob and pulled the door open. Standing there was a tall figure, shrouded in shadows. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue that framed the newcomer. Tom squinted, trying to make out the features in the fading light. Hello. I hope I'm not intruding. It was Mr. Reynolds, a family friend, someone he'd not seen in years but whose face felt oddly familiar. The tension in the air crackled as Tom stepped aside, instinctively feeling that any person could either ignite the flames or cool them down. Your timing is interesting, Tom said, trying to keep his tone light. Mr. Reynolds looked past him, taking in the gathering. I was just in the neighborhood and thought I'd drop by. Seems like I picked a great time. The corners of Clara's mouth turned down, a clear disdain for the intrusion written all over her. Sorry to interrupt this family emergency. Lily needs to sort things out with her father. You could come back later. Actually, Tom interrupted, stepping in as he felt desperation bubbling to the surface. Maybe his perspective could help us. Surely Mr. Reynolds wouldn't bring more chaos. The man was known for his wisdom, a mediator by nature. In an uncharacteristic gesture of agreement, Lily nodded slightly. Yes, it might help to have a third party here. Clara's eyes flicked toward Lily, a storm brewing behind them. We don't need anyone else to muddy the waters. This is a family matter. Tom felt every person in the room tense. The air was thick with confrontations. He struggled to navigate the landscape of loyalty, securing a haven for Lily while standing up to her family. Let us just sit and talk, Tom insisted, his voice growing firmer. He motioned toward the couch again, the weight of his words hovering. As the group settled in, Mr. Reynolds took a seat beside Tom. Tell me, what is truly going on here? He began, his calm demeanor acting like a balm over the escalating emotions. Tom took a deep breath, launching into a brief outline of their struggle. As he spoke, Clara interjected with sharp remarks, relentless in her defense of her family's stance, while Lily listened, her face a portrait of anxiety. What if you let Lily choose? Mr. Reynolds asked gently, eyes flicking to Clara and then back to Tom. It's her life we're discussing. The statement hung in the air, a fragile truth that felt like hope breaking through clouds. Tom glanced at Lily, whose expression morphed from worry to surprise, a flicker of yearning dancing in her eyes. Did she truly want that choice? The question loomed larger than before, demanding answers Tom wasn't sure how to give. Clara scoffed, her disbelief palpable. What do you mean? She's not equipped to handle such decisions. That's why we're here. That may be true, Reynolds replied, unwavering. But the point remains, Lily deserves a voice. Tom's heart lifted at those words. She did deserve a say in her future, didn't she? But the challenges of letting go flooded his thoughts. If he offered that freedom, what would it mean for them? A palpable silence descended as everyone waited for Lily's response. Her eyes sparkled with wonder and fear, and for a moment, she held the power of the conversation in her hands. Then suddenly her phone buzzed, breaking the tension. She looked down and her face went pale. Mom. Her voice barely registered above the silence. What does she want? Clara asked, her eyes narrowing. I don't know. I have to answer. Lily clutched the phone tightly, torn between her family, her father, and the choices unfolding before her as images of her mother loomed in her mind. Tom felt his stomach drop. What news could bring them crashing down again? Would it tear this fragile truce apart? The door had swung open, but would the truth wait on the other side? Lily's hand trembled as she brought the phone closer to her ear, each ring filling the room with anticipation and dread. Her heart pounded so loudly that she could barely hear her mother's voice emerge from the speaker, thick with urgency. Lily, are you there? Her mom's voice, usually calm, now quivered, sending a shiver down Lily's spine. I'm here, Mom. What's going on? She replied, her voice barely above a whisper, as if speaking too loudly could shatter the already fragile atmosphere. We need to talk. It's about your father and what he did. The words bore a weight that threatened to crush the last bits of resolution within her. Tom exchanged glances with Mr. Reynolds, both men sensing the shift in the air. Clara leaned in, her brow furrowed, desperate to glean every detail of the conversation. They all felt the tension rising, like smoke before a fire ignites. Lily, please don't panic. I'm at the hospital, her mother continued, her voice trembling. Your dad had an accident. What? Lily felt her world tilt away from her. Is he okay? He's stable, but the pause hung like a guillotine, threatening the unthinkable. He won't be able to come home for a while. I need you to make decisions about his care. Care? Lily echoed, her mind racing. Unconsciously, she pulled the phone away from her ear, losing focus as thoughts swirled around her. Would she have to forge her voice against the family she felt responsible for at this moment? How could she choose at a time like this? Lily, listen to me. Her mother's voice snapped her back. I don't want to do this without you. You need to come here. Lily looked around the room, her heart racing at the responsibility crashing down on her like a tidal wave. The air was thick with uncertainty. Her father, the man she had been trying to define herself against, was vulnerable now. Mom, as she started, but her voice faltered. Tom, sensing her turmoil, leaned closer. Maybe you should go, Lil. You might need to be there for your mom and for yourself. He wanted to support her, but the idea of her leaving filled him with fear. What if that meant giving up everything they had fought for? I don't know if I should. Her voice trailed off. Decisions don't wait for us to feel ready, Mr. Reynolds said softly but firmly, offering a grounding presence as the whirlwind chaos encircled her. Sometimes we have to step into our lives even when they are messy. Clara crossed her arms, frustration etched on her face. She shouldn't be making that call, especially not now. We can handle this as a family. Can we, though? Tom interjected, raising an eyebrow. This is about Lily's choice. It's her family too. The tension escalated again, a palpable draw of opposing wills colliding in the confined space. Lily's heart thudded louder, drowning out the voices around her. She felt the weight of every gaze upon her, each one expecting clarity and strength. Lily, please. I need you, her mother's voice echoed, ready to spill the truth from across the miles. Torn between love, obligation, and the dawning realization of her own autonomy, Lily felt her mind racing to a tipping point. Okay, Mom. I'll come. Relief mingled with anxiety as she uttered the words. But just then, her phone buzzed with texts from her father. The screen lit up, the messages revealing something Lily had long anticipated, but also dreaded. Wait. What is this? She muttered, staring at the bright screen. Tom moved closer, peering at her phone. but the secrets hidden within that digital space could uproot everything they had worked for. What did he say? He urged, tension hanging thick in the air once more as Lily's heart raced. The ground felt unsteady beneath her. The moment of truth loomed, threatening to reveal connections that would alter their lives forever. What she would see next could either bind them together or tear them apart. Could she possibly discover the full extent of her father's secrets now when everything felt so fragile? And in that moment of uncertainty, the weight of the world rested squarely on her shoulders. Would she be able to navigate the storm ahead? Lily's fingers shook as she unlocked her phone, the screen illuminating her anxious face. She quickly scanned the messages that flickered in front of her, her heart pounding in her chest. The first message was short but jarring. "I'm sorry, Lily. I didn't want you to find out this way." Her breath hitched. The next one deepened her frown. "I bought a house. I thought it would help us start over." A whirlwind of emotions washed over her. Confusion, anger, sadness. How could he think that? Had he really believed a house could mend years of misunderstanding? Before she could process any further, Tom's voice cut through her haze. "Lily, what did he say?" She turned to him, her mind racing. He bought a house? The words sounded foreign, as if they belonged to someone else entirely. Why wouldn't he talk to me about it first? Why now? "It sounds like he was trying to surprise you," Tom suggested cautiously, though the furrow of his brow showed he wasn't fully convinced. "Surprise?" Lily burst out, a wave of disbelief flooding her voice. "He has been gone. How can he surprise me with a house and expect everything to be fine?" Clara stepped forward, her voice soft but firm. Maybe he thought it was a step in the right direction. After everything, Lily felt herself hardening. After everything? What does that even mean? He has been avoiding us and now this? Feels like a cheap trick. Just then another buzz caught her attention. A third message blinked at her. "Please don't be mad, sweetheart. I made a mistake and I hope you can come to forgive me." Forgive? The very idea twisted something deep inside her. Why should she forgive him, someone who had never acknowledged how deeply his absence had cut? Tom's hand found her shoulder, grounding her momentarily. "It's a lot to take in. But whatever the truth is, we'll face it together." The sincerity in his voice sent a wave of warmth through her, but it also heightened her awareness of the distance between her and her father. Lily's head spun. The hospital, her father, the car accident, it all felt like pieces of a tangled puzzle. And then there was this new piece, a house. The implications seemed to creep into every corner of her consciousness, filling her with questions she didn't know how to answer. "Mom," she whispered, anxiety creeping back into her voice. "What if he is trying to, tie me down to something? What if this is just another way for him to control my life?" Mr. Reynolds cleared his throat, taking a step closer. "It's important to understand the intent behind his actions. Why don't you head to the hospital? You can ask him yourself what he meant. Don't let assumptions guide your feelings." Lily felt a knot in her stomach at the thought. Did she want to see her dad? To confront him? She glanced at Tom, who nodded slightly, his expression filled with encouragement. "I'll go," she said, steadier now. "But if I do this, I need to find out everything. I have the right to know why he thought this was the solution." "Then let us get you ready," said Clara, determination lighting her eyes as they made their way to the door. Lily's heart raced with uncertainty. Secrets were crawling from the shadows, unveiling old wounds she thought had healed. What lay ahead felt like a clash of loyalty and resentment, a crossroads where she had to choose between her complicated love for her family and the unraveling truth of her father's past. Just as they stepped out, her phone buzzed again. This time it was another message. "You are going to find out the truth soon, and I hope this one tea change everything between us." Her breath caught in her throat. What truth? As they walked to the car, an overwhelming sense of dread began to take shape. What was her father really hiding? And could she still trust him when it all came to light? Lily stared out the window of the car as Tom drove, the familiar streets passing by in a blur. Her mind was racing with thoughts, each one more chaotic than the last. She could hardly breathe with the weight of her father's messages sitting heavy on her chest. The cool air felt oppressive. "Do you think he really meant it?" she asked, mostly to herself, her voice barely breaking the silence. Tom glanced at her, concern flickering in his blue eyes. "I think he wants to explain." But you have to be ready for whatever that explanation might be. His words were steady, like a lighthouse guiding her through a storm. Still, the thought of her father's face made her stomach churn again. With a sigh, she rubbed her temples, willing her thoughts to settle. It's just why a house? Why not simply come back and talk to us? It feels like he's trying to buy my forgiveness instead of earning it. The bitterness dripped from her words, and she hated the taste of it. Tom pulled into the hospital parking lot, and the air felt tighter still. Maybe it's more complicated than that. What if he really believes it's a fresh start? What if he's scared? Scared? She echoed incredulously, her voice rising. He chose to leave. He chose to be afraid instead of fighting for us. He parked the car, and they sat in silence for a moment. The hospital loomed before her, an imposing figure that felt more like a fortress than a place of healing. She clenched her fists. She had to go in. She had to confront the source of her pain. When they entered the building, the antiseptic smell hit her, mingling with the sound of footsteps and hushed conversations. Each step felt like a mile, the distance from her past growing closer. She peeked into the waiting room, where other families embraced in different stages of grief and hope. Her heart sank, and she wished for a moment that she could turn back. Just breathe, Lily, Tom whispered, sensing her turmoil. With a nod, she took a deep breath, summoning every ounce of courage she had left. "Okay," she said finally, "let us do this." They walked toward her father's room, each footstep echoing the turmoil in her mind. Images of her childhood played out in flashes: happy times, laughter, but also the empty spaces where he should have been. She paused just outside his door, feeling the pull of uncertainty. "Ready?" Tom asked, his voice gentle. She inhaled sharply, letting it out slowly. "No, but I have to be." Pushing the door open, she found herself in a small room filled with medical equipment that beeped softly in the background. Her father was propped up in bed, his face drawn and tired, but his eyes lit up at the sight of her. "Lily," he whispered, his voice hoarse but filled with warmth. "Dad," she returned, the word leaving her mouth with a surprising sting. How could it still carry such weight when so much had changed? As she moved closer, her heart raced again, but this time with a pulse of hope and dread mixed together. "We need to talk," she said firmly, clenching her fists to steady herself. "I need answers about the house. About everything." His expression turned serious in an instant, the weight of the words hanging uncomfortably between them. "I wanted to explain, Lily," but before he could continue, an unexpected voice shattered the stillness. "Lily!" It was Clara, bursting into the room, a look of urgency on her face. "What is it?" Lily glanced at her friend, heart racing at the interruption. "I think you need to hear this too," Clara said, casting a furtive look back down the hallway. Lily's pulse quickened. What now? This was more than just her father's secret slowly spilling out. It felt like a cascade of truths waiting to break free. "What do you mean?" she asked, suddenly feeling the weight of impending revelations crushing down on her. Clara stepped forward, glancing between the two of them with wide eyes. "It's about the house and your dad." Every nerve in Lily's body tingled with anticipation, teetering on the brink of something monumental. What could possibly change everything again? Just as she was about to ask for clarification, Clara took a deep breath, ready to unveil a secret that could shatter or heal them all. What was she about to hear that could shake the very foundation of everything she believed? Clara's words hung in the air, vibrations of urgency buzzing around them. Lily could only blink, her heart pounding as she demanded, "What about the house? What do you know?" Clara hesitated, the weight of her knowledge hanging heavy in the silence. Then she spoke, voice steady yet filled with concern. "I overheard something, a conversation with the realtor. Your dad didn't just buy that house for a fresh start. There's more to it." "What do you mean?" Lily pressed, gripping Tom's arm tightly as she felt the foundation of her world shift beneath her. Clara exchanged a glance with her father, who looked increasingly pained. "He's not just trying to buy your forgiveness, Lily. It's about something he thought would protect you, both of you." "Protect us from what?" Lily felt her breath stutter, the room closing in around her. "From the truth," Clara murmured. "About your mother." The name hung like a shadow between them. Lily's eyes widened, a kaleidoscope of emotions swirling inside her: surprise, anger, confusion. "My mother? What does she have to do with any of this?" Your dad found something out after he left. Something about her past ways, her choices. I shouldn't he even know this, Clara faltered, stepping back as if the secret was too hot to handle. But he thought that if he could give you a home it would make things better. That you wouldn't he be dragged into, well, whatever it is he learned. Lily felt her legs weaken. The revelation churned in her stomach like a heavy storm. So you're saying he bought a house to protect me from something awful about her? Yes, Clara replied, touching her arm lightly. He thought keeping it from you would spare you pain. But now it's hurting even more, I senti it? The air grew thicker, a mix of disbelief and sorrow creeping into Lily's heart. She looked at her father, whose face was a canvas of tortured emotion, and back at Clara, a friend now tangled in a web of family secrets. Why would he think hiding the truth would help? Why not just tell me? Because Clara started, he is terrified of losing you again. He thought that maybe if he offered a new beginning the past wouldn't he matter. Lily shook her head, tears pricking her eyes. The idea that her father had wrapped himself in a protective lie was infuriating. He should have trusted me. I'm not a child anymore. He thought he was protecting you, Clara insisted gently. And now you're in this moment trying to figure it out like everyone else. He just wanted it to be right. As her father shifted a little in bed, his eyes full of pleading desperation to explain, they locked gazes. Lily's heart wavered, struggling against the urge to run away, yet yearning to know what else lay hidden. I can't do this, she whispered, turning away. I can't be the person who needs a warning for something that might devastate me. But Clara stepped closer, her tone filled with resolve. Lily, you deserve to know, your family deserves to heal. If he's been hiding this from you, it's time to see it for what it is. You have to hear him out. Lily felt the walls closing again, the confusion palpable, as voices buzzed in her mind. Everything she thought she knew felt like sand slipping through her fingers. What had she been so blind to? No more secrets, she finally said, her voice a fierce whisper. I want it all out. Her father nodded slightly, eyes glistening, but before he could say anything, Clara interrupted once more. But Lily, you have to understand there's one more thing. I heard each word seem to hang in the air. Pregnant with promise yet equally terrifying. What is it? Lily found herself asking, the pull to know the truth stronger now than the fear of it. It's not just about your mom, Clara said, lowering her voice. There's something happening in that house that connects with your family's past, things that we're still uncovering. Lily's heart raced as she leaned in closer, teetering on the edge between dread and determination. She had to know the whole story. How deep did this rabbit hole go? Would it change everything she thought she knew about herself? As Clara began to share her newfound information, Lily could feel her world spinning wildly yet again. The journey was far from over, and as more secrets lingered just out of reach, she pondered what new revelations awaited her. What hidden truths would break or mold her future? Could this be the moment that turned everything around? Or would it leave her with more questions than answers? Lily felt a chill race down her spine as Clara's words settled in. She folded her arms instinctively, her body bracing for what was coming. What do you mean it's not just about my mom? The tension crackled like static in the air. Clara hesitated, her gaze darting to her father. There's a history with the house. A history? Lily echoed, her heart pounding. What kind of history are we talking about? Clara took a deep breath. When your dad bought it, he discovered something related to your family. It seems the house has seen more than what any of us can imagine. There's darkness. Darkness? The word tasted foreign, and Lily felt the ground beneath her tremble. What do you mean? Was there something wrong with it? They found details, artifacts from before it was sold. It's as if your family's past is embedded in the walls. Clara whispered urgently. Things that shouldn't be there. They hid it to protect you from a legacy that your family never wanted to confront. Lily's mind raced, feeling as if she were grasping at shapes in the dark. What kind of artifacts? What did they find? Clara leaned closer, her voice almost a whisper. Old letters, photographs, clues that hinted at family secrets that could shake your understanding of who you are. Things that might explain how your mother ended up in the position she did. Why didn't he tell me? Lily felt a surge of anger mixed with desperation. Does he think I can't handle the truth? It's not that simple. He believed he was protecting you, shielding you from pain, Clara replied, her voice softening. But sometimes hiding is more dangerous than revealing the truth. Lily turned to her father, searching for answers in his eyes, but all she saw was fear and hesitation. "Dad," she pleaded, "what did you find? What aren't you telling me?" Slowly he sat up, his voice raspy yet determined. "Lily, I wanted to wait for the right time to explain. The truth is hard to face, but it's essential." Lily swallowed hard, her pulse quickening. "Then don't wait. I need to hear it now." He looked down, collecting himself. "Find the house carries the weight of our family's mistakes. There were things done long ago that if known could change everything you think you understand about us." "What mistakes?" she pressed, desperation creeping into her voice. "What do you mean?" "Your mother, she was involved in a group that didn't just do charity work. They were tangled in something darker," he finally admitted, his voice cracking slightly. "I thought if I gave you a new home you could avoid this. But it wasn't fair. You have a right to know where you come from." Lily felt the ground shift beneath her. Everything she had known began to unravel. "So the house is filled with evidence of who we really are? Then what does that make me?" "You're still you," Clara chimed in hastily. "This doesn't define you. It's a part of your story, yes, but it's not all there is." Those words hung in the air, but Lily felt no comfort in them. The more she heard, the more tangled her emotions became. "I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, Clara. What if it changes me? What if I can't handle it?" "You can," Clara insisted. "You're stronger than you think. You have a right to your history, to understand your past. Even if it's uncomfortable, it's part of who you are." The weight of Clara's words crushed against Lily's chest. She could feel the truth swirling in the air just out of reach. But she also felt a flicker of determination igniting inside her. She needed to know, even if it hurt. As she turned back to her father, a question burst forth, unfiltered and raw. "What do we do now? How do we face what's in that house?" Her father's eyes glimmered with something that resembled hope, mixed with dread. "We start by confronting it together. We'll uncover it bit by bit, piece by piece. Whatever's hidden, we'll face it." With a deep breath, Lily nodded, trying to steady the storm within her. Together they would unravel the truth, even if it tore at the stitches of their fragile family. But as they sat there, the gravity of the unknown loomed over them like an unshakable shadow. What exactly would they uncover, and would it push them further apart or draw them back together? One thing was certain. The journey to the truth was only just beginning, and the answers lay concealed within the walls of that house, waiting to be discovered. Lily sat in her father's hospital room with a million emotions swirling inside her. The air felt charged, heavy with questions that demanded answers. They had just agreed to confront the secrets of that house, a place meant to be a sanctuary, now a reminder of everything hidden and unresolved. Her father looked frail but determined, his eyes shining with both apprehension and a flicker of hope. "Lily, I care about this family more than anything. I thought giving you a home would shield you from the hurt I carried," he said, the weight of years pressing on his heart. "But I see now that hiding the truth only deepened the rift." Lily took a deep breath, feeling the ground beneath them shift. "Dad, if we're going to face what's in that house, we need to be fully honest with each other. This can't be just about fixing things with a new address. It's about our past and what it means for us." Tom nodded beside her, his presence a steady anchor. "You both can do this. Together." The truth felt daunting, heavier than any weight she had ever carried. But with every word spoken, every event faced, the potential for healing loomed closer. Just then, Clara piped up gently, "Facing those memories, unraveling those knots may give you both a chance to redefine who you are as individuals and as a family." Her voice was warm, full of empathy and understanding, reminding them that while the past held pain, it could also lead to growth. "Will it hurt?" Lily breathed, her voice trembling with fear. "Will discovering these truths drown us?" She looked at her father, searching for reassurance. It will hurt," her father admitted, his own voice raw and vulnerable. "But pain can lead to release. And together we can face it. You don't have to carry this burden alone. I will stand by you." Lily's heart swelled, filling the void created by fear. With each thought of facing what lay ahead, the tightness in her chest slowly began to loosen. "Okay," she finally said, each word firm with resolve. "I'm ready to step into it. We face it together." And in that moment of shared determination, a silent agreement was made. binding them like never before. As they prepared to leave the hospital, hope flickered bright. She wasn't just renewing her connection with her father. She was reigniting the flame of family values with Tom and Clara, creating something resilient and new in the aftermath of their rocky truths. The car ride back felt different. The familiar streets turned into avenues of possibility. The house waited for them, filled with remnants of the past, but now they felt emboldened. As they pulled into the driveway, Lily glanced at the old, worn structure, the sunlight glinting gently off its surface. Her heart raced with newfound courage. It's time to breathe life into this place. To turn it into something real for all of us. Tom smiled at her, pride lighting up his face. That's the spirit. We'll transform it together. It's not just about the walls, it's about who we become in the process. I won't let history define who I am, Lily affirmed, a sense of clarity washing over her. Together we'll unfold our story, past, present, and future. As they stepped inside, a wave of uncertainty washed over them, but it was matched with the warmth of connection. They gathered in the living room, and for the first time, it felt less like a battleground and more like the beginning of something profound. The conversation shifted. There were no barriers anymore, just family gathered to mend broken ties. With each piece of furniture moved, each photo hung, and every story told, layers of distrust began to peel away. They laughed, cried, and embraced the chaos that came with the healing. Over the following weeks, they uncovered the house's mysteries and their family's secrets with resilience. Happiness bloomed like wildflowers in a field, reclaiming space where shadows once lingered. They honored the past while building a foundation solid enough to weather any storm. As the final touches transformed the house into a cozy home, Tom looked at Lily, a sense of fulfillment washing over him. This is the beginning, isn't it? Lily smiled, her heart full. The beginning of understanding ourselves as family. And there it was, the bond newly forged, shimmering like sunlight streaming through clear glass, illuminating the path toward the future, a reminder that love, when coupled with truth, could indeed heal even the deepest wounds. As they stood together under the setting sun, the house echoed with laughter and promise, a testament to their journey. And as they closed the door behind them that evening, they did so with open hearts, ready to embrace whatever would come next. Now, if you felt the power of this transformation, don't wait. Subscribe immediately to the channel, so you won't miss any future exclusive stories like this one. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help the journey continue. Comment your thoughts and feelings about this heartfelt ending below. And remember, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. You need to show your support for what we're building here. Don't wait not even one more second to share.